So for today, we are discussing the Mommy Club Season 3, Episode 3. And I don't know how to feel after seeing this episode. If I should describe this episode in one word, I should say it is crazy. I don't know if that's the best word I'll use, but I would like to know yours. What word best describe this episode? And as you know, the way I will always do my review, I will always discuss cast after cast. And let us start with Noskie, because if you're not starting with Noskie, who are we going to start with? For this episode, she is the show. The show is all about her. I think I would really love to give Appy a credit for hosting the ladies so well. But I think there's a thing with the Mommy Club this season. It's more about the ladies and it's giving Real Housewives to right. Like sincerely, it's just as if Real Housewives of Johannesburg has been cancelled and the Mommy Club is just the official substitute, the official substitute for it, because there's not so much of the kids like the way it's were in the first and the second season. I think there was so much narrative, so much storyline with the children, the relationship with the parents and the children. Even the nannies seem to have a kind of essence, and they have a storyline. We get to see them. They had screen time. But for this season, it is just about the mummies, and it's just giving real housewives vibe. That's just one thing I noticed. I am not saying it's a bad thing, but I think they are fast deviating from what the show used to be. But I'm here for it. So let's discuss this episode. And I have said earlier, I would be starting with Noskie. Noskie seems to be a cast on the show that is very interesting. But one thing that I find annoying is the fact that everyone on this show seem to find a way to comfort her. They just want to have issue with her. They just like what? Why? I think Noskie is cool, but what's one thing that comes to me is the fact that these other persons that are coming for her, especially Vuyi and Pheladi, they are probably insecure. I don't know if jealous should be the right word, or they are insecure basically. And the more Pheladi speak of Noskie, the more she speak and the more she disclose things that make her feel somehow about Noskie, you get to realize that yeah, this person is a mean girl. And I feel like all of these things they have to say about Noskie, that she seems because she's married to a white man, she starts to have this superiority complex. I think it's a thing of their mind, because with what we are seeing so far, I don't know if probably production did anything, because when you get to hear from this other person, they'll be like, "Hell, there's production manipulation." They will always have something to say. But with what is being portrayed on the show so far, I don't know if I'm speaking so fast. So with what is being portrayed on the show so far, I think Vuyi and Pheladi, especially Pheladi, she's a mean girl and she's insecure, and all of that she has to say about Noskie is in her head, and it's just what she wants to believe about Noskie, because so far Noskie is not showing anything of such. And I love how Noskie can be so brutal. The first way she told Pheladi that you should go check the dictionary, or like Grammy, should you go learn about what's the word, DICK. I don't think it would be nice if I say that here. He is, and get to understand that as an expression. I feel like yes, I'm here for this. Noskie, you're giving me what we need. And I think at the point, they really came for her so well that she had to go back to her shell and she started feeling all alone. And I think it is just normal someone will feel like that. But I love the way she's coming for them in her diaries. Then let's talk about the DICK word and how all of these cats feels like, yeah, they are sincere. I don't know if probably I'm sounding like a Noskie fan. I just feel like this is how I feel so far on the show, because I feel like yes, a good number of them use this word. A good number of them they are not so sincere, especially the likes of Happy. I don't think she must have used the F word. I don't think they are that sincere. And the way you're just trying to switch the word and make it seem as though it's not what she meant. I feel like they understood what she meant, but they just want to act all righteous and try to show that yes, they are mothers. I know you guys are mothers, but let's just be sincere. You guys understood what she meant, and I will not blame the other cast on the show for having to come for Noskie about the DICK word. I think it is more about Sande, because why did Sande decide to break out from that table? I feel like Sande just wants to have contribution and she no want to be like, okay, probably I'm the only one standing by Noskie. One thing is the fact that they got to the results. That Noskie and Sande got that together, and Sandy had made it clear that, okay, I'll start with you. We are together. They had good conversation, only for her to throw Noskie under the bus and brought that conversation. I feel like if Sandy felt a kind of way about what Noskie had said, I feel like she should have addressed Noskie in a very different way. She should have brought her up in that situation where all the cast are coming for Noskie. If truly she is someone who is sincere to Noskie, I don't know if that's making sense to anyone. That's one thing about Sunday. And I just feel like Sunday is back being the kind of Sunday many people did not really enjoy seeing last season. I hope she does better because it's so early this season. What else again I've not discussed? I think Her Majesty and Mrs. G. And for Vuyi, I think I'm just so bored of discussing Vuyi because last episode we've really discussed the introduction and asking her, and I felt like asking Vuyi what she does. And I just feel like it is Vuyi insecurity that is making her feel like um Noskie is trying to size her. That's it. And that's a period. There's no explanation. And the crazy thing is like the more she tried to explain herself and give a perspective, the more it seemed to make you see that we no, 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 it's not making sense. The more she's explaining, the more she sounds so to me. I don't know. I don't want to use any derogatory word on anyone. So let's talk about Parody. I feel like Parody was just jumping into a conversation and she just wants to be, she just wants to have relevance. And the way she's coming for Noskie is uncalled for. That there's nothing obvious that Noskie has done for her. And all I could say, it's a projection that all I can say, I have, oh my God, everything that I could say she's projecting on the show so far is insecurity, and that's a period. So I think for Happy, she did was Lady so well, and it's good. That Mrs. J, I think Mrs. J is the only newbie on the show that seems to not to be blindly taking side. I think she cannot be so truthful about how she feels about Lady coming from Noskie because she promised to be friend with Pheladi and she feel like okay, she needs to be loyal to Pheladi. Because I think for Mrs. J, she understood that okay, Noskie is not what that Noskie is not what the project to be. Because of she's have this sense of loyalty with Pheladi, she do not want to come from Pheladi. Like they will of the other person seem to be really even making sense to me at all. So I think maybe that's why Mrs. J is not ultimately like showing or commenting lady like correcting. But we can see that to an extent, Mrs. J seems to be the only one who is trying to make these people come to a common ground and not be so I don't know. And I think she's just in there because she don't want to come from Pheladi because I think she seemed to be loyal to Pheladi. Very making sense. So I think this is all I'll be discussing for this episode 3 of the Mommy Club season 3.